Hi, Sean.
I talked to you yesterday.
Good. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes. A great host. Show is great. Listen to his show.
Absolutely, 95.5.
One mic. All I need is one mic. That's all I need.
Hey, everybody, it's the Shelley Winter Show. I'm coming in hot. I'm warning you, I'm coming in hot tonight. We've got Mike Collins, Congressman Mike Collins joins us in the next segment, talking about the government shutdown, talking about everything, his campaign, but mostly talking about what's going on now. He's going to give us an update on the shutdown and what's going on up at the House and all of that stuff. So he's coming up in the next segment, so you don't want to go anyplace. I want to talk about a story out of Texas. I want to start here because I saw this story. It's a fascinating story, and it's kind of indicative of where we are in this country everywhere. Everywhere. The story is there's a principal, right? Her name is, where is it? Oh, here it is, yes. Chandra Hooper Barnett. She is the principal of Woodrow Wilson High School. Principal Hooper Barnett, by the way, it's important to tell you, is an African-American principal. She pulled all the African-American students at Woodrow Wilson High School into an assembly. And when she pulled them into this assembly, she said they were the cause of the school had a B instead of an A accountability rating. Basically, their test scores. This is the gist. No one has the sound from it. Maybe it'll come out, but I'm telling you what I know from the news reporting. But I want you to hear this. It's from WFAA in Texas reporting. Listen to the reporter so you can get everything going on.
I've heard from several parents today who are deeply concerned about what their high schoolers described to them, a meeting just for African-American students. That's according to the kids who attended. They say Woodrow Wilson High School principal Chandra Hooper Barnett called a meeting of African-American students only during advisory period. And according to multiple parents, she told them that they were the reason that the school has a B rating and not an A. Jennifer Bush heard it from her son, a sophomore.
She said that? I was like, that's what they said to you? I was like, I'm calling the school tomorrow.
She's one of many parents to tell me that they called and complained.
I thought it was extremely discriminatory and inflammatory to sit down a bunch of Black children and tell them that they're the reason why the school is in a bad light in their eyes.
But she also wrote an email to parents over the weekend to apologize, writing in part, quote, "The decision to hold that meeting and subsequent discussions that transpired was not appropriate. I take full ownership and responsibility for what occurred, and I want to assure you that it was never my intent to single out or cause harm to any group of students." The email never explicitly said the exact circumstances of that meeting. Parents tell me they want more information on what happened and what was said.
There is a lot left to be desired. Like, I'm happy at the rapid response. I don't know how it was allowed to happen in the first place. I don't know how she felt comfortable enough to do that.
So that's the story. Parents complaining. And here's my take on it, my friends. And this is, I said why. It's why I said I was coming in hot. I don't know what the data says, but the principal does. She's the principal of the school. She knows what the data says. Okay? So she called this meeting. She says it was inappropriate. I shouldn't have done it, right? So let's understand that. She says she shouldn't have done it. But there's a reason why a highly qualified principal does this. She wasn't some young rookie. The school is a B. B is not bad. She wanted an A. And she said, these students, the African-American students in this school, you cause us to get a B and not an A. So I've got to trust that she has the data in front of her. You don't have to prove to me this. I trust that it's there because she called the meeting. Now, of course, she got fired, but she must be looking at data that told her to call this meeting. And I can only assume that if you call a meeting like that, you're almost like a coach. I couldn't imagine a football coach of Woodrow Wilson High School bringing the offense together and saying, you're the cause of the team losing. And any parent saying, I can't believe you talked to my kid like that. But a teacher, a principal, trying to motivate her students to say, listen, hey, it's y'all. Step up. Do better. What do you need? Need to study more? Need to read more? What do you need? We're a B, we could be an A. So is the problem because she pulled a demographic specifically, or does she pull the data? That's what we have to look at. I can only defend her. Now, it could come out that the data was incorrect or she was making up whatever. Then she deserves to be fired. But I can only believe that she called this meeting because she was looking at the data, and the data was telling her exactly what she was telling these students. And I'm sure there's a large part of this is, hey, I'm listening to these people in this district talking about y'all. They're talking about you. You kept us from an A. You need to do better. Since when is that bad? Have we gotten so woke in this country that you can't tell a student who's underperforming that they're underperforming? What do you want? Would you have rather had this assembly with all the students and then just said, hey, those of you who are underperforming caused us to get a B instead of an A? Then what would your complaint have been? Because every kid in the school knows who's underperforming. Right? When you were in high school, you knew every kid that was getting D's and C's and F's and all the kids that were getting A's. Everyone did. So you put them all in together so all the other kids can look at those kids and say, haha, you caused us from getting an A. Or do you take the ones that are causing the decline, or you take the ones that are brought us down to a B from an A, and you say, hey, get your stuff together. Get it together. Forget race. It's about the data. What did the test scores show? That's what we should be focused on. Not jumping up and down. I can't believe she did this. She talked to you like that? Yeah. Yeah. It's a different time. Because if I came home from school and went to my mom when I was in school and said, Ma, my teachers pulled several of us. Let's say there weren't many African Americans in my private school, but let's say they pulled me by myself. My teachers pulled me to the side by myself and said, Shelly, the school would have gotten an A or 100% rating, but because of your C's and D's, we got a B. If I went home and told my mother that, you know what my mother would say to me? Are you up there embarrassing me, boy? So my mother would have said to me, she wouldn't have said, I'm calling the school for pulling you out and separating you. She would have whipped my you-know-what and told me, are you up there embarrassing me and this family? Letting those people think you're stupid? That's how my mother would have handled it. That's how another generation ago parents would have handled it. Now we've gotten to the point where, how dare you separate the kids by race? Okay, next time, the new principal that's there, what you should have is an assembly with everybody in the school and tell everybody in the school, hey guys, but for a handful of you, we would have gotten an A rating instead of a B. And then all the other kids would have looked around and say, oh, who's the handful? Oh, it's them. How do you know? Because I know such and such doesn't study. I know he's gotten D's and F's. I know he doesn't come to class. Would that have been better for all of you? 448-720-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. When we come back, we're going to talk to Congressman Mike Collins about the shutdown, about Snap shutting down on Saturday, and a lot more. We'll be right back.
Into sound. A journey which along the way will bring to you new color, new dimension,